any one, you could take any one of 37 leading risk factors or cause factors for death above COVID, and you'd be able to make the same argument that I'm making now. And that's the truth of it. The last year in 2020, COVID ranked as the 38th leading cause of death in Australia. There were 37 other factors above that. At some point, the officials of this country have to wake up and realize that health is not just one factor. Community is not just one factor. It's not just affected by one factor. And each factor is definitely worth warrant. Warrant of attention, warrant of protection. But if the average age of death for COVID is 86, why are we forcing everyone's lives to be completely upended and upended and forcing people against their will, effectively coercing people against their will to take injections that they're not agreeing to or happy to, right? And in some cases, fining them for not doing it. Shout out to Northern Territory, standing up there. If you're going to do all that for one factor, then at least be consistent and do all that for the rest of the factors. Because if we've decided as a country that the government now runs our health and the government manages our health, we're not responsible for our health anymore, which it appears that most of Australia has decided that that is the state of Australia. Government decides my health for me. Well, then you should at least be consistent. And you should at least be managing everyone's obesity, everyone's fitness, physical levels, mental health. You should be managing their potential for dementia, their potential for everything else, all the other leading cause factors. Not just one. Because as we've seen, as we will continue to see, COVID is a low to moderate risk factor for death. It is not severe, not nearly as severe as so many other things in our society. And I'm not for a second demeaning all the people that will die with COVID, and maybe some from, but mostly with, which has been stated by New South Wales Health, that of the majority of cases in Australia, they died with COVID, not from. We should do everything to protect them, absolutely. But what about all the rest of society? Dying from many other things that are affecting many more people. That's what I want you guys to think about today. And I know a lot of people will come back in this argument and say it's a silly argument, and it is a silly argument, but it paints a very interesting truth. I used a very extreme example of suicide. QR check-ins with happiness, mental health passport. Of course, I'm not advocating for these things. That's ridiculous. But in its ridiculousness, and through the comedy of it, maybe you might see a little bit of truth about how ridiculous it is that we are treating this particular disease in regards to all of society and all of health factors.